As many of you know, I've been using the HEIPI travel tripod since they started out as a Kickstarter in 2022. Now, the lightweight travel tripod has really worked for me, or the way I kind of approach wildlife photography and for making my videos for YouTube. A while back, HEIPI sent me the Ball Head KF60. And in this video, I'll be trying it out on a Groundpod on a stunning beach in Shetland. Now stay tuned to the end of the video, while I'm also going to be using this on the HEIPI travel tripod over here in my forest hide, where I'll also give you a little bit of a walkthrough and my opinions on this ball head. Now this summer, I traveled to Orkney and Shetland for my holiday. Now, even though this was my holiday, I obviously brought a lot of camera gear on this trip. In Orkney, I met up with an amazing wildlife photographer and videographer, Raymond Besant. Raymond has worked on some epic nature documentaries such as Frozen Planet 2, BBC's Wild Isle, and Wild Scandinavia. Together, we're doing a joint photography workshop in Orkney in March 2025. The photography workshop will focus on waves and waders in the stunning Orkney Isles. Head over to my website if you want to sign up and join us for this trip. It is likely to go very fast. After Orkney, the trip went onwards to Shetland, and it was on Shetland, on the St. Ninian Isle beach, that I got to try out the KF60 on a Groundpod photographing waders. This is St. Ninian Island ahead of me, and there is an amazing kind of a beach bridge to get to that island. Ooh, light is hitting on the middle of the beach down here. Shetland is an amazing place. I've only been there for a couple of days, but I feel like I've seen so much. I got a ground mat, which is great because I forgot my waterproof trousers, so that's going to give me a little extra protection. So this is the HEIPI tripod head, KF60 it's called. And here, whoops, don't drop that screw. This is the Groundpod that I'm going to be using. See, I'm laughing because you may have seen in a really old video I did. I used a bin lid for this exact purpose. I just put a bean bag on a bin lid and I slid that around on the beach. It does work, but it's a little bit better with this because the camera is going to be, steady, attached to the Groundpod. It'll be easier to push around. Quite excited about using this. So for my gear today, my first choice is going to be my trusty 0-1 Mark II with the 150 to 400mm attached. Okay, that's the sun coming over the hill here. I'm so excited. Okay, let's walk a little bit closer to where I see some. I think it's plovers over there, but I can't be sure. They're just digging in the sand for something. Obviously, this is Shetland. I'm just going to leave my stuff here on the beach. I'm not too worried. People are so nice here. We got some here. I'm just going to lie down here because I don't want to spook them. Maybe they'll come towards me. Bird's is a bit far away now. I'm going to use the teleconverter, which then gives me 500mm. Obviously this is micro four thirds. If you want to compare it to 35mm, it would be 1000. Oh, we got some turnstones over here. They're walking in amongst the seaweed, they're feeding the whole time. I'm not photographing the whole time. I'm waiting until I get them a little bit out in the open, until I see a behavior I like, and until I can see the entire bird, until they face my direction. All these little things that I'm looking for, that I'm trying to photograph. Whereas I'm not just firing away just because I can see the bird, I'll go around them and photograph into the sun. This is so absolutely amazing. Should have seen the waves here yesterday. Stormy weather. I love these waders. They're so amazing and they're everywhere. It's just good. So the great thing about this, I can pretty much just have it loose and it just goes back. It's not just going to tip over or anything like that. So it's just really handy for wildlife photography. So maybe you could tell from that video in Shetland, I had an absolutely amazing time there. Now though, I'm going to be trying out the KF60 Ball Head on the travel tripod from HEIPI. And just to say, they don't actually recommend using this lightweight tripod with this ball head. Personally for me though, I found that it's fine. A lot of the time when I am using a tripod, I'm using it quite low. Now I only have two of the kind of legs, the smaller legs extended. It means that it sits quite low and it's quite sturdy. My gear is also quite lightweight, so that also helps. So for me, it's worked. But they do recommend getting a heavier, sturdier tripod. So this KF60 Ball Head by HEIPI has been designed for wildlife photography. Now the ball head itself is 900 grams and it can take up to 7 kilograms. You know, movement with it is very smooth, so it works really well for video. Now because of the counterbalance function, I never worry about just letting go of my camera. You know, I know it's gonna sit there steady. So it's this kind of thing that I really trust, you know, and if I was gonna do any photography just above the water surface or anything like that, this is the setup that I would go for. And it's very simple to use. There's two knobs for loosening and tightening, the horizontal and the vertical. Now you can't go tilt it to the side, but for this kind of setup, you know, you would be attaching it to a tripod foot and you loosen that and you can shoot portrait like this, like it with any other setup. I guess one thing I did notice when I was using it on a Groundpod on a beach was that sometimes the Groundpod itself is a little bit slanted. So then my whole camera setup is a little bit slanted. So at those times I did also loosen this and I just put it a little bit sideways to straighten it. Now the ball head itself is a bit pricey, but if you are looking for a really decent, sturdy ball head that you can trust, then maybe it is for you. I also want to give a shout out to Josh Looney, who sent me this Groundpod here. Really like it, just really functional, easy, lightweight, and it is much more affordable than some of the ones I've seen before online. So thank you so much for sending me this, Josh, and I'll put the links below if you want to reach out to him or go to his Etsy shop and pick one of these up. I can really recommend them. They're just so easy to take with you. There's a screw with that that sits in the back here. I guess it's the only thing I would say that, you know, be careful to take care of that screw. Just keep it separate so you know where you have it, so because it could just fall out. Very nice little Groundpod that I will be using a lot more, especially for the upcoming Orkney workshop, working with waders on a beach. It's going to be ideal. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll put links below to where you can pick up the HEIPI tripod, ball head, and Josh's Groundpod. Catch you next time.